Good afternoon, everyone. It's David Schlotthauer here with a urgent weather forecast. In today's update, we are keeping an eye on this powerful storm for the deep south moving into the eastern seaboard. In fact, the National Weather Service has already issued winter storm warnings for Arkansas, northern Texas, southeastern Oklahoma, northern Mississippi, western Tennessee, southeastern Missouri, as well as far western Kentucky. And on top of that, the winter storm severity index is now major to extreme for northeastern Texas and southern Arkansas. So here's a look at the latest 18Z ECMWF model, which stands for the Euro, or the European Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasting. And we're looking at the deep south here across the United States. And yeah, there is going to be a big, nasty, extreme winter storm that's going to explode in size rapidly as we go into tomorrow morning. And in fact, if we take a closer zoomed in view here, just looking at Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, this system is really going to take off in a hurry, especially by the later morning hours into the early afternoon hours. We're going to be looking at quite a bit of light to moderate snowfall falling across Dallas, Fort Worth. This is an area that doesn't get a whole lot of snow even during the entire winter time. So the fact that Dallas could be looking at a few inches or more, this is going to bring a lot of serious impacts to that area, including for Oklahoma and Arkansas. Now, forwarding the clock here to your evening commute on your Thursday, it transitions over to maybe sleet and freezing rain, which is even worse than snow, let alone. And then further to the south here, we're looking at strong winds along to go with moderate to heavy rainfall for Houston, Texas, Corpus Christi, Texas. You get the idea. Galveston as well could get some heavy rainfall out of this system. Now going forward, this is going to escalate even more as we go into Friday morning. So for your morning commute here, if you're in Arkansas, if you're in Louisiana, northern Mississippi, unlike our last system where you only got rainfall and severe weather, this system is going to be very, very different. And this is going to bring mainly just the threat for some very heavy rainfall along this cold front, maybe even a warm front here. And then to the north is where you have the sleet. And then to the north of that, man, the snow is going to be coming down really, really hard. In fact, there's some purple here over northern Mississippi. That means snowfall rates up to at least 2 to 4 inches, maybe even 5 inches an hour, could lead to brief whiteout conditions at times. Even Tennessee here getting in on the mix of some heavy snowfall as well. And this is going to continue to gallop its way into the rest of Tennessee. Let me get actually a better sector here. The Ohio Valley, expecting to see quite a bit of snowfall out of this. Okay, if you're in Indiana, if you're in Ohio, if you're in, say, Kentucky, southern portion especially, you're going to get the best chances here of snow. And then, of course, exiting across the Carolinas and even in the Mid-Atlantic, where this is going to be bringing in also some snow. And yeah, look at that, really does amplify a little bit more over across the Chesapeake Bay to the south, including for Newport News, Norfolk, Virginia, and this would be for Saturday. So if we zoom back out again, the timing of this system is as such. So it really starts late tonight into Thursday morning, and this is going to continue to escalate as it marches along throughout the day Friday, and then moves into the Mid-Atlantic by Saturday early morning, and then will leave the region by Saturday mid to late morning, with winds increasing on the backside of that system. And then really quickly, I want to kind of diagnose another system that we may have to watch. Another one up here. This is a weak snowstorm, nothing too significant. And then maybe later on in the period, we may have to deal with another system beyond the 6 to 7 day period, something that we will need to watch. But in the meantime, one system at a time. Here's a look at the NAM this is the NAM 12 kilometer model. That is, I believe this is this is the NAM 12 kilometer. And yeah, look at all the snowfall. Look at all that dark blue on your screen, indicating quite a bit of heavy snowfall to the south, light to moderate rainfall, and in between, we're looking at freezing rain and ice. And that continues across northern Mississippi, northern Georgia, and then eventually into the eastern seaboard, where you're looking at some decent snowfall, especially over Chesapeake Bay, over Maryland, southern Delaware could get in on the worst of the impacts here. And that's the 18Z model run with another snowstorm for the northern plains, and that would be for Sunday. So an active weather pattern will continue for quite some time here until at least the early part or the middle of next week, when things should settle down only briefly. Now, because of how serious this winter storm is going to be, in fact, we're looking at an extreme winter storm. And it's not just me calling this an extreme winter storm. Even the Winter Storm Severity Index from the Weather Prediction Center is making this extreme as well. You can see all the purple here on your map in southern Arkansas, northeastern portion there of Texas. This is a major to extreme risk for heavy snowfall, some freezing rain and sleet in the mix, along to go with strong winds, and the potential for even blizzard-like conditions due to those strong winds coming in out of the east and the northeast, especially on the backside of this. We have even extreme impacts potentially over central and far eastern portion there of Mississippi. Otherwise, in Tennessee and pretty much the rest of the nation here, this is through the next 3 days, by the way. It is looking pretty significant as well. We're looking at a moderate impact all the way into Virginia, the rest of Tennessee, northern Georgia. There's a little red area over Atlanta, Georgia. It's very hard to see here, but if we actually go to our local sectors here, actually they don't pop it up here, but let's go to the southeast, and you can even see right there, okay, 1 to 3 severity index. You can see there's a little bit of a major impact there due to some snow and even some ice. So now when we take a look at your latest snowfall totals on the 18Z NAM model, this is a high resolution model showing us maybe up to a foot or a foot and a half of snow over central and western Arkansas. This is probably a little on the bullish side, given that the European and the GFS model are both only indicating under a foot of snowfall, but it doesn't surprise me. Again, we have that extreme impact issued for southern half of Arkansas and central Arkansas due to the heavy snowfall. And then Dallas-Fort Worth could get up to 6 inches of snow based on this model. Southeastern Oklahoma, maybe as much as 6 to 12 inches of snow. Western Tennessee, you may have up to 10 inches of snowfall out of this winter storm. And then, of course, Indiana, if you're in Ohio, we're also looking at quite a bit of snow, potentially over Erie, Pennsylvania, where you may get 4 inches. So yeah, this is definitely a high impactful storm, not impacting just this area, but a huge area all the way into the eastern seaboard, such as Virginia, where my sister lives, as well as West Virginia up over here, and Kentucky. And then lastly, the ice is going to be a big problem with this storm that's developing tomorrow all the way through Saturday. For central Texas, we could be looking at almost a half an inch of ice, maybe some areas here locally up to 3/4 of an inch. Northeastern Texas, maybe up to a half an inch of ice. Central, southern Arkansas, anywhere between about 1/4 of an inch to maybe a half an inch of ice. That will be enough to take down trees, power lines. A similar situation recently happened over Missouri as well as Kentucky with that recent winter storm that brought some extreme ice accumulations. We're going to see something similar, unfortunately, for the deep south and the southeast. Look at Georgia, like Atlanta. We could see up to about 1/4 of an inch, maybe up to 4/10 of an inch of ice. And that's just with one model. When you look at the GF or the Canadian model, it's going even more aggressive. And we've been showing this for over a few days now, that the Canadian is very aggressive, very concerning, still showing up to about half an inch, maybe almost up to 3/4 of an inch of ice across central, northeastern Texas, eastern Texas, northern Louisiana, as well as southern Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas, like the Atlanta metro area. This could be pretty devastating according to the Canadian model, including for the South and North Carolina, right along the coast here of Wilmington, North Carolina. It could be really bad, up to maybe a quarter of an inch of ice. Now, looking at the GFS model, not as aggressive, but also not as high of a resolution of a model. So take this with a grain of salt, but it's still showing in some of these areas, maybe up to a half an inch of ice. Southern Arkansas, maybe up to 4/10 of an inch. Northern Georgia and the Carolinas, roughly around 1/10 of an inch to maybe a quarter of an inch of ice, which, by the way, a quarter of an inch of ice will do quite a bit of the damage. Road closures possible, as well as significant air traffic delays, maybe some flight cancellations, that sort of thing. So please, folks, if you're commuting out in this, please be safe. This could be a serious extreme winter storm. Actually, it will be a major to extreme winter storm. Another concerning trend that we have seen on the models recently is another potential of a major Arctic air mass that is going to come in out of the north. We've seen this already, has led to a lot of problems, power outages and stuff due to the ice, people suffering due to hypothermia. This is going to continue all the way into early next week. You can see only a slight warm up with temperatures back into the 30s in portions of Iowa, Minnesota, as well as the Dakotas. Into St. Louis, Missouri. Nice little brief warm up there, only to cool back down again. And you can see these temperatures coming in again. Another push of Arctic air mass with temperatures back into the single digits for Saturday morning. And then it warms up a little bit. But look what's coming again. Early next week, we're talking about another big Arctic air mass outbreak over the upper Midwest, like if you are in Indiana, and say if you are in the Ohio Valley, back down to the single digits again for Tuesday morning. Might get as cold as 4 degrees in some of these areas. And then if you're in, say, Minnesota and Wisconsin, -10 to -20 degree temperatures. Now, take a look at those temperature anomalies. Anything in the blue and the purple is temperatures below average. In the orange and red and, well, the maroon red color is temperatures above average. So like in Canada, temperatures are way above normal for this time of the year. 30 to 40 degrees above normal there, but in the southern U.S., it is a whole different story. Temperatures are 10 to 20 degrees below average. That's going to change because we have some milder weather coming back in, only temporarily, because guess what's coming in out of the north? This another push of Arctic air mass going into the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes. Temperatures 18 to 25 degrees below average. This is for early next week. We've been talking about this for a little while, how there's going to be some very warm temperatures coming back in. Look at this, all the way up here in Canada, extreme warm temperatures with temperatures that are anywhere between 30 to 45 degrees above normal. And then that moves into the upper Midwest as well as the northern plains, only temporarily, because look at, by the end of the model run here, we are seeing some big Arctic air masses coming back in with temperatures that could be, again, 30 to 50 degrees below average. We showed you those actual air temperatures in the -20, -30 degree range here in Wisconsin and Minnesota. So that's something that we will need to watch in future model trends. But anyways, if you found this video really helpful, detailed, and informative, please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel right now to get latest updates on this winter storm, including a potential live stream tomorrow on the channel for the entire day. Also hit the like button and share this video with your family and friends on social media. But please, folks, hit that subscribe button. We're getting closer and closer to 50,000 subscribers, a halfway point to the road of 100,000 subscribers. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll be back with you more on this winter storm tomorrow.